Why do humans laugh when someone farts? It's a strange question if you think about it. We build cities. We send machines into space. We talk about philosophy, consciousness, the universe. And yet, someone makes a small PPRRT sound in a quiet room, and suddenly people are trying not to laugh. Welcome to today's Tiny Curiosity episode. Let's explore one very simple question. Why do humans laugh at fart sounds? And maybe an even stranger one. If humans someday build a colony on Mars, will people there laugh too? First, let's start with something basic about the brain. Our minds are prediction machines. Every second, your brain is guessing what will happen next. Footsteps, doors opening, someone speaking. Your brain expects certain sounds in certain places, but then suddenly, a strange little noise appears. A sound that doesn't belong to the moment. A small PPRRT. For a fraction of a second, the brain pauses. What was that? This tiny break in expectation is important. Psychologists sometimes call this type of moment a mismatch between what we expect and what actually happens. The brain predicts one thing. Reality gives it something else. And very often, when that surprise is harmless, the brain responds with laughter, not fear, not stress, just laughter. But there's another ingredient in the fart joke recipe. Taboo. Almost every culture treats bodily sounds as something slightly embarrassing. People try to hide them. People avoid talking about them. But here's the twist. Everyone has them. Everyone produces them. It's a universal human experience that society quietly pretends isn't happening. So when the hidden thing suddenly becomes public, the brain reacts. Part surprise, part social tension. And laughter becomes the release. Now let's talk about children. If you've ever been around kids, you know something interesting. Children laugh at fart jokes much more than adults. Sometimes uncontrollably. Why? Because children haven't fully installed the social filters yet. Adults hear the sound, and part of the brain says, "That's inappropriate." Children hear the sound, and their brain simply says, "That's funny." The raw response is still there. The filters come later. What about babies? Even babies sometimes laugh at silly body sounds. But they're not laughing because they understand what the sound means. They respond to rhythm, to surprise, and very importantly, to other people. If a parent laughs, the baby often laughs too. Human brains have strong imitation circuits. When people around us laugh, our brain joins the pattern. So sometimes the joke spreads before anyone even understands it. But fart humor isn't just a modern internet thing. It shows up throughout history. Ancient comedy used it. Old theatrical performances used it. At one point in medieval England, there was even a court entertainer known as Roland the Farter. Yes, that was his actual role. His performance included jumping, dancing, and controlled farting. And he was rewarded with land for entertaining the king. Which tells us something interesting. This type of humor is not new. It's very old. Across cultures. Across centuries. Across completely different societies. So what's happening here? Why does this type of joke appear almost everywhere? Researchers sometimes describe this category as bodily humor. Comedy based on basic physical functions. Things like falling, burping, or farting. These are experiences shared by all humans. They are simple, physical, and slightly socially awkward. That combination turns out to be surprisingly powerful for comedy. There's also a subtle psychological mechanism involved. When something strange happens, the brain briefly checks for danger. Is something wrong? Is there a threat? But when the brain realizes, no danger, just something odd, the tension releases. And laughter appears. It's almost like the brain saying, "Oh, that's all it was." Which brings us back to the strange question we started with. What happens if humans colonize Mars one day? Imagine a quiet metal habitat, red dust outside, a small group of astronauts living together on another planet, and suddenly, a tiny sound breaks the silence. PPRRT. What happens next? It's very possible that someone will laugh, because even if technology changes, even if humans live on another planet, the basic human brain might stay the same. Our prediction systems will still exist. Our social tension will still exist. Our sense of surprise will still exist. And somewhere inside every adult, there is still a small 5-year-old brain waiting for a silly moment. Maybe that's the real takeaway. Humans can build telescopes, write philosophy, explore space, but we are still biological creatures. We still have bodies. We still have strange little sounds. And sometimes the most advanced species on Earth laughs at a fart, which raises one final question. If laughter can be triggered by something so simple, what else about human humor might be hiding in our most ordinary, everyday experiences?